and an episode always weekly. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Welcome to This Is a Place podcast. My name is Nate.
I'm Brandon.
And happy National Fruitcake Day and Visit the Zoo Day. I wanted to do two.
Two of them.
Those are two things I'm very passionate about right now.
Fruitcake and the zoos?
No, not really fruitcake. I told you about my deal I got, my fruitcake Mountain Dew.
Yes.
I've got a whole bunch of it, and I think it's from last year's Christmas. And you know how I don't drink soda, but I tasted it, and they're so flat it just tastes like melted,
juice.
Like a melted, juice. Like it tastes like a melted Slurpee. Is what it tastes like. So I got a lot of that to get rid of.
And to 5 lucky listeners, you can be the recipient of one of these bottles of flat year-old soda.
Yeah. If you live within a 5-mile radius of Salt Lake City, I will drop off 5 20-ounce bottles. I think they're 20-ounce bottles, right?
Yeah.
Of Mountain Dew fruitcake. I think it's called Fruit Quake.
Right.
Mountain Dew. If you can tell us
that you listen to the podcast,
that you heard this, let's just go with that.
If you listen to the podcast, you are the lucky winner.
Yeah. If you just email us at This Is a Place at Gmail?
This Is a Place podcast at Gmail.
Podcast at Gmail. Yeah. Email us there and say you want some. The first 2 people to email us will get. Well, again, you have to be within driving distance and allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery.
5-mile radius, but it'll still take 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, because I'll just hit you up whenever I'm out and about, because I'm out throughout the valley a lot. So, but my thoughts were, I don't think it tastes that bad. I got to give you one so you can taste one and see.
I've had it.
It's horrible. Have you had it?
I have, and one of our guests today has also had it. I gave him one of these, or at least
did
some
you?
of this.
Okay.
Right, Josh?
I don't remember this. When was it?
Probably last year for some holiday party.
Fruitcake Mountain Dew?
Fruitcake Mountain Dew. I think I brought it to Thanksgiving.
Fruit Quake.
Oof.
It's
Did
disgusting.
I ever tell you a story about how a guy approached me when I was putting him in my car?
You might have.
So I didn't know. I saw a case of them at this discount store in Layton, and they were like $3 for like a huge case. It was something cheap, maybe $5. So I'm like, okay, I got to get this. We got to try it. It's different. And I put the case in my cart. And when we were checking out, he's like, oh, that's free. I thought he was kidding. He's like, no, that is free. Like every $30 you spend, you get a free case of this Mountain Dew, but they're probably just trying to unload. And we happen to have $150 worth of purchases. So he's like, you get 5 free cases. So we took all 5 because you have to, right? They're free.
You have to. They're free.
Yeah, the whole
so
thrill
they
of the
can take
deal.
up room in your basement.
But then this like very almost homelessly looking guy,
Homelessly
looking, is that a word? Comes approaching me in my car. And I thought he was going to come up and ask me for money, but he saw me put in the Mountain Dews and he's like, oh, good. You got the good ones. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, the cinnamon one makes your pee burn.
So, there's a cinnamon Mountain Dew? I don't know.
Yeah. There's not a very good filter at Mountain Dew, or is it Pepsi? Does Pepsi own Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
Yeah, at PepsiCo, they don't have a very good filter on figuring out what flavors they should do.
I think some of them, I like.
They do have some good flavors. They do have some good flavors, at least I remember. And there's a lot of flavors that have come out since I've stopped drinking soda that I want to try. But
I had a Voltage the other day, which is blue raspberry, I think. Red raspberry. That was pretty good. Yeah. We actually have 2 guests today. Matt, what are your thoughts on Mountain Dew?
Not a fan. Cut that. Not a fan.
Yeah.
I love the live. What was it? The orange
Live Wire. Oh,
Live
the
Wire.
best. Simply
Live
the
Wire
best.
is so good. Simply the best.
And
I don't know if they
Pitch
still
Black.
make that.
Oh, they do. They do.
What's the one at Taco Bell?
Baja Blast.
Yeah, which is just really just Mountain Dew with blue Powerade.
No.
Yeah,
you can't oversimplify it like that.
It's
green, not blue.
I saw a TikTok.
It's goated.
That's what it was.
It's good. It's the good stuff.
It is good too. I love Mountain Dew. Like I can drink Mountain Dew faster than I can drink water.
Well,
You
he
know the
used to.
best flavor of Mountain Dew? The
Original?
hot Cheeto Mountain
Ew.
Dew.
What?
I'm I'm kidding. It's disgusting. It's like actually spicy.
That's a real thing?
Yeah. You guys haven't seen that?
It
No.
was probably probably the same person invented the Earth or the Mountain Dew fruit quake.
Probably.
It's awful.
The voodoo ones are good though.
Okay.
The voodoo they change up every year and it tastes like some sort of Halloween candy.
So here's my question to you. So I don't drink soda anymore. But now that the Mountain Dew is so flat, does that count as drinking soda if I drink one?
I don't think so. I
No.
think you're cleared.
Cleared.
But my trick too, if I'm not feeling the carbonation, I just take one of those bottles, shake it up a bunch, and all the carbonation's gone, and it's just juice.
I prefer it that way.
Same.
Well, you know, like champagne, a trick with champagne is that if you put a raisin in the champagne, it makes it bubbly again.
Really?
Does that work with Mountain Dew?
I don't
Let's
know.
try it. I'll try it. I will return and report.
So, listeners, you might be lucky recipient of a recarbonated Mountain Dew.
I will
after
drop
Nate's
off
put a
some.
raisin
If it
in
works, I'll drop off some raisins. 5 raisins for each Mountain Dew.
Amazing.
Well, have we done National Fruitcake Day and
Zoo Day.
Zoo Day Justice?
We've done it justice. We should probably get to the topic of the episode for today. We have 2 guests, as I mentioned. Josh, he's been on an episode before, back in the very, very early days of the podcast, like our 2nd or 3rd episode, Belgian Waffle House.
Yeah, we talked about
Yeah, we did that in a church.
Belgian waffle.
Remember?
Belgian waffle.
Yeah,
Is that what it's
at the
called?
church,
Yeah.
right before we played some b-ball. Different times.
Yes.
Back when I was allowed in the church.
Pre-COVID, or was that during COVID?
That was like
During
the
COVID.
very early. That was probably our last time playing basketball before COVID ruined everything.
Because I can still, after you said Belgian waffle, that's what it's called, right? I have a smell of chlorine in my nose because they went a little crazy
Yeah.
with the Clorox during that
That's right.
time.
That's right.
So
But we have Matt and Josh because for our topic today, we went and visited Asylum 49 for their now annual Krampus haunt. And the 2 of them came along. So we thought, hey, let's have them all on and talk about it. Matt's in less than desirable circumstances, so his audio is a little off. And he will chime in as he can. But Josh, he's on a beach, as I can see. The palm tree blowing in the back.
the
Yeah.
cold
Background.
beach because he's wearing a beanie.
It's in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, okay. Yeah. He's wearing a hoodie and a beanie in Hawaii. But yeah, we got to talk about Krampus. It was I think it was everyone's first time going to Asylum 49. So
Yes.
great to finally make it out there. And Asylum 49 is kind of become, can we call it the new Dead City?
Yes.
I wouldn't put it at that same level.
Not the same
No.
level as Dead City was. We love Dead City. And I think I'm gonna say I love Asylum 49 now. I don't love how far away it is, but I appreciate it. And so the guy who ran Dead City, he has moved everything over and has added his touches to Asylum 49. And we got a chance to talk to him a little bit while there. And so yeah, it was fun to have the Krampus night back because I had a great time when we did it the first time at Dead City.
Yes. Agreed.
But before we really talk about that, we should probably talk about foot rubs.
I thought this was a PG podcast.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Nate doesn't want to talk about foot rubs.
What's not PG about foot rubs?
The kind of foot rubs Matt is talking about.
Yes, I give my wife foot rubs. There's nothing more to it than that. You sickos.
The reason this comes up is because Matt decided our time for going to Asylum 49 because the foot rub couldn't be disrupted,
Couldn't be delayed.
couldn't be delayed. And that's all.
I suggested we just go early to drive out to Tooele so we could get home early because my wife needs a foot rub. That's all there is to the story. Am
Okay.
I missing something here? Am I crazy? What's wrong with that story?
Nothing. Moving on.
Nothing's wrong with that story.
Nothing's wrong.
And guess what? I gave her the foot rub of her lifetime that night and probably put her to sleep.
So,
Best 20-second foot rub of her life.
8 seconds.
Oh no,
That's generous.
Oh,
I
boy.
wish. No,
Okay.
they go for about 20 minutes, about 10 minutes
Oh.
each foot.
My goodness.
You boys better hope your wives don't hear this because they're going to start expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about Krampus.
Not to put a
Smooth
cramp on
transition.
the topic.
Not to put a crap.
Moving on.
So, what are our thoughts? What do we think about Krampus night? First
I
off,
think it's fun. I think it's fun to go. Was it 2 years ago that we went? We didn't go last December, right? Because Dead City was. Oh wait, was that the first year Dead City did it at Asylum?
so I think it's been more than that because last year Asylum did Krampus, and the year
So it was like-
before is when Dead City closed.
Okay,
I think.
so
Or
2 or
didn't-
3
or
years
didn't
No,
open.
ago
we did it
went.
2 years ago. It was 2 years ago, Brandon.
Yeah.
2 years ago. That sounds about right. It's fun. It's a cool experience because it's fun to do something like that. That's kind of out of the repetitive things you do during the holidays. It's something different that you can do that's still holiday related and then gives us the joy of Halloween.
They did a good job of capturing a Christmas vibe, a good Christmas spirit vibe. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Another thing I like about doing the Krampus haunt is crowds. It's not very crowded like it would be during Halloween time,
Yeah.
which I think kind of helps because then the actors and everybody there are a little bit more involved because it's not as crowded, so it's not as repetitive for them, and they get a little bit more excited when people come through.
Right.
So I like it. I think it's a fun thing to do, and it should start being our yearly tradition.
I agree. Let's talk a little bit about it. So, similar to what they did at Dead City, you've got a kind of a pre-show queue thing going on, and they've got lights, Christmas lights, a Christmas light show happening, right?
Right.
And yeah, it's all decked out, about as Christmassy as you can get with a haunted house. And when we were there, we saw the owner from Dead City and talked to him. And because we were fans, he gave us 2 additional upgrades, 2 quests. One was a blood quest, and what was the other one? What was it called?
Poison vial or something.
I don't know. It was just green.
All I know is the red one's called a blood quest, and it looked like blood. And they made a split up. They split up. They wouldn't let all 7 of us go in because a couple of us brought our significant others, our wives, and they wouldn't let that many people go. So I went with Josh and our wives, and then Nate, his wife, and Matt went together. We had the blood quest, and you guys had the
Poison quest, which is only $10 extra to do that quest.
It's not
So
bad.
we should just pay that because I think if you do a quest, don't you get like a free T-shirt?
Yeah, you
Or
do.
I guess you're paying for a $10 T-shirt with the quest.
They're
I think it's
pretty
worth the
nice
upgrade.
t-shirts though. Not a
But
bad
do they let
upgrade.
you? Yeah. Anyways, I thought it was fun.
No, I'm much better than I've been in the past. I'm still a scaredy cat. So I made Josh be brave and do all the blood quests.
I will say that the quests make it a lot more scary because you have to be looking for the little places to insert it. And normally when I go through a haunted house, I can just kind of look down a little bit kind
Tunnel
of aware
vision.
of my surroundings. Yeah. And so like when something happens, I'm kind of just like, it's not usually directly in my face. But yeah, I found myself a few times looking around for the blood quest and had a little jump scare. So
Well, not
that's what
even that.
happens.
When you put the thing on to activate whatever, you don't know what it's going to do. So there's kind of that anticipation of when you put it down, what's it going to do? It got Matt a couple times.
So Matt,
Yeah,
you
I did I did the first few, and then there was one where Nate was kind of standing in front of me, so I was leaning forward, and our vial you just set on the table, and it would activate it. You didn't have to stick it in the little hole. So I set it on the table, and a blast of air shot in my face, and I was like leaning forward right into it. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, Nate, you can do the rest of these. It got me good, and I was like, I'm done with this. You can do it. But it was confusing to us because I swear we saw like four or five of the red ones. You had to look for a colored light. And I swear we saw a bunch of red ones before we even got to the first green one. And there was one scare actor that was like, like helping us, but trying not to break character. She's like, "Oh, you just got to keep going. I think you'll find it somewhere else, further away."
Trust me, you'll find one.
Yeah. So we finally found them.
what are your guys' thoughts on the scare actors? Because my opinion is, and I think Josh shared the same, the scare actors here were a little bit better than other haunted houses I've been to this year.
Really?
Maybe not
Yes.
in that they're the scariest, but their improv and immersion was a lot better than other ones I've dealt with.
Okay.
It's hard to gauge with the crowds, right? As well, like where there's so many more people usually coming through at Halloween. I feel like the energy just can't be as high and as focused for as long. And I don't
Yeah.
know if that's it or if it's just the acting is better, but that was the thing that stood out to me the most for sure is they were so much more immersive and they'd like interact longer in each room and they weren't like trying to kind of rush you along at all. So yeah,
And
I
granted,
really like that aspect of it.
there weren't a lot of people there, so they didn't have to try and
Yeah.
rush us
I think
through.
that's like I said, I think that's one of the benefits, kind of what Josh said, is they can take your time, they can take their time. They don't have to push you through, so they can try to scare you more or joke around with you more. And if you're Matt, they can try to stop you from passing more. I don't know why it was always Matt that they would try to pull away from the group, which was just me and my wife, but
Because I was at the end.
you're at the end.
Yeah, I don't understand. I still thinking about that Krampus one. He would not let me go. And it was
No.
like a solid 30 seconds. And then eventually I said, I know I can't touch you, but I feel like I should shove you out of the way. And then he wagged his finger at me like I did something wrong. We were like rubbing bellies. Every time
Yeah,
I'd take a
yeah.
step, he would like push up against me. I'm like, dude, okay, I got it. Now back off.
I know. It got to almost to like that awkward moment, right? Where you're like, okay, what do we do?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it definitely got awkward.
Just a little too long.
So maybe
I was
that
shoulder
was
checked by one of the actors.
you got shoulder checked,
Yeah.
a little
He said
forecheck.
something to me. I don't know what I did, but he said something to me like I don't remember what it was, but I like rushed past Santa or something, and he was like he said something offensive and shoulder checked me, and I was like, "What?" Like I didn't think they could do that.
You just had the look that you would be okay with it. So he
Yeah.
thought he could get away with
I
it.
didn't care, but it was just like I didn't know he could do that.
Yeah, I mean, it happens where they touch you and they're not. I mean, probably not. Maybe in his case, he was trying to.
It was pretty intentional.
Pretty intentional.
Definitely was.
Maybe he wasn't an actor. Maybe
He's
he
a
was
real elf.
a real
Yeah.
monster. Because this place is really haunted.
Well, did we already talk to you guys that we had like, I'm assuming a security guard following us for a while?
Yeah, you mentioned
Like
it to
we
me.
couldn't,
We had the same thing.
yeah, we couldn't tell like is he going through the haunt like a person by himself, which happened when we went to Haunted Forest, right? Some guy was by himself, so we wouldn't think anything of it. But then I'm like, maybe he's a worker here, and maybe going back to it just being slow, they just needed something to do. and so they follow people to make sure they. I don't know
We were
what
there
they
pretty
thought we
early.
were
Maybe
gonna
they're
do.
kind of just doing checks for when the busy time came.
Sure. So it was interesting to have somebody following us for a minute. Like I said, I couldn't tell, like, oh, should we let this guy pass and go through, or is he a worker? We just didn't know.
And I think because of the time, it's not the busy haunting season in October or September, right? So they have probably less people that are there to do the 2 weekends that they do it.
Sure.
So there weren't as many actors in there, but I don't know. I just felt
Well,
aside
that's
from
the
maybe your awkward encounter with Krampus, I felt like they did a better job than because sometimes actors just get really awkward and don't know what to say. If you're and
yes.
especially when you're there for a minute, they just all barriers break down and they're like, oh yeah,
It's
yeah, I
like they
don't
were expecting you to move through quickly, and then they're like, now what did I do?
yeah. I think there was one part where we were standing somewhere with there was one actor, we were in there for longer than normal. It was
Was
like
it
one of the first
the blood
seasons.
ritual? The big
Yeah.
demon one?
No, it was before that. And he just kept talking to us and I'm like, he's going and it's not souring. It wasn't souring like it normally does. Like he was keeping up with I want to say he was wearing a hat, some kind of top hat.
He was staying in character and
He
doing
was
well
staying in
with it.
character. He did a good job.
Good.
But then yeah, what Josh was going to say, one of the blood rituals, there was a thing talking and Josh did it and he thought something amazing and crazy was going to happen.
Yeah. It was once you put it in and there's like a giant demon and he's like reading from like a ritual book or something.
Book of
So
Death.
so I was waiting for him to finish his ritual and then something there was like it was like a sacrifice in front of him. I don't know if you guys remember this. There was like a dead person or something, like he was at a gravesite and he was just sitting there like reading from a book. And I thought lightning was gonna strike or something. So I was waiting there for a lot longer. One of the actors kind of was like, "Yeah, you can go through, you can keep going." I remember how they
Like
said
he
it, but
rambles on for a while.
yeah.
Like, oh, okay, we'll just we'll get going. Did you guys have so this was a cool thing I thought. So it's all hospital themed for the most part. There's a little bit
Right. I
what's
was gonna
that?
say it's an old hospital, isn't that what it
Oh yeah,
was?
yeah. So they kind of stick to that it's a hospital and it's asylum, right? And there was a part where we walked through and I feel like there was sheets or something, but then they had a table. Did you guys step on the table? The kind of
Ooh,
it was
I
kind
love
of
that part.
a Frankenstein-esque.
Oh, were you? What, did she ask you to stand on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Did none of you? Did you guys stand on it?
Yeah, we
Oh
did. We
yeah.
both did.
Okay. So I stood on it. She told me to get on it, and I was hadn't even like put my back to the thing yet, and she pushed the button, and I told her to do it again. I'm like, do it again, because I thought it might shock you a little bit, and I love
Mm.
being shocked, and it just all it did was just buzz you, right? So I'm like,
You love being shocked.
yeah, is that weird?
I mean, teach his own.
Everybody's got their
Some people
kink.
like
Whatever
foot
gets you
rubs, some
going.
people like to be shocked. Yeah. Yeah. I think I've told the story before, but it was like chemistry class and we had a student teacher and he had this like electric wand that it
Yeah.
would shock you. And he turned it on high. He turned it on me and I just kept my hand there and everyone pulled it back, right? And I just kept my hand there and he kept turning up to where you could see the current from the wand to my hand.
Wow.
And he couldn't believe I just hold it there. And then after he's like, maybe don't touch a computer for the next hour or so. Just
More.
more. So
So it's not quite to that level, the table.
no, it
Yeah.
just vibrated like buzzed or something. So I was like worried too that it was gonna like tip or something. I didn't know what was
That's
gonna
what I thought
happen.
was gonna happen.
Um
I got really scared because Josh did it and he stepped right up, so brave. And she asked if he wanted candy cane, ornament, or
oh
Christmas tree, I think.
something like that. Like
Yeah,
what was your
I think
favorite
it's
Christmas thing or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
And so he
yeah.
picked, I don't remember which one. Candy cane, I
I
think.
think it's candy cane.
I think I did too.
It doesn't matter. It did the same thing. But what he
No, it
did.
does matter.
It does.
Okay, sorry. He did candy cane and she turned it on, and then it vibrated or whatever. And then she's like, anyone else? I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And I picked something different. And I was like, something different's gonna happen. And I was like freaking out, plugging my ears, and it was just the same. It just
Well, what she asked you after, she says, "Did you see a candy cane?"
an ornament. I picked ornament.
Oh,
And I said, no, I can't see anything, you know, just playing along. I could. Didn't do anything to
Yes.
me. But I don't think she got it. But I don't know. Doing something like that. I mean, it's not a big thing, but them letting you get on a proper, just have something happen. That was fun.
yeah. There
Yeah.
was there was none of that at any of the other haunted houses I've been to.
Yeah, they don't let you touch
What,
anything.
what are you talking about? What about the haunted forest when the slide threw my wife into the well?
Okay. The haunted
That was
forest.
pretty
I don't know about
interactive.
that.
That's different. There's two slides there. They have two slides at Haunted Forest.
Yes.
But letting you do things, be a part of the show in a way, I think that's pretty fun.
Well, you mentioned that the actors were better than you've seen in other places. The cool thing about Dead City was that he has so many animatronic things and hidden things in his haunt that sometimes the actors kind of distract from it. So
Yeah.
you almost don't need actors. So having good actors just adds to the experience.
And he
It
noted
started in the line
it
too.
did. Yeah.
Like there was an elf that was interacting with me and Ashley for like
Oh, I know.
on
Like
and off for
he almost
15
wouldn't
minutes.
stop. He almost wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
He
going
had
back to
nothing
the
better to
line,
do.
let's go back to the beginning. So I had to go to the little boy's room. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the whole haunt. And last thing I want to do is,
Pee yourself.
yeah,
It's
soil my
cool to pee your
soil
pants.
myself. So I asked our friend. I was waiting for you and Matt to stop talking to the Dead City owner, so I could ask him where the bathroom was. But he like takes me, and I don't know if it's something they use for the public or if it was for the actors. But having it be an old school hospital, I don't think the bathroom's been remodeled since they've built the place. So it was really cool. I'm like, I'm gonna die in here. This is
What?
how
You should have
this is how
told
the movie
us.
starts. This is exactly how the movie starts.
It's like Saw, the Saw bathroom.
Yeah, yeah, it seriously looked like from a old movie. So it was fun
Total
going to an old
immersion.
bathroom.
Dang, I wish I had to use the
So
restroom
that
there.
was my favorite part of the experience, and I guess and the scariest part of the
Maybe
whole
that was
experience.
a room. We just it was out of order because they were actually had to use it.
Yeah. Well, I had to go back out through the gate. So I'm past where the guy asked if we had tickets. Anyways, so it wasn't super easy to get to, but it wasn't. Anyways, it
Did they
was
check our tickets a lot
experience.
there?
I felt like he
Did they
asked if we
check
had it
them
in the
three
beginning,
times?
and then the girl asked before she handed us a
3 or 4.
flyer, and then they actually scan it before you go in, right?
Yeah.
So three times.
I was thinking to myself, I was like, at what point would somebody be able to like sneak in if you're going to ask for the ticket right before you go in anyway?
Right.
Yeah.
I
Seemed a
guess
little unnecessary to me to ask that many times, but
It was a slow
so.
day. We'll give them that.
sure.
Well, maybe the first guy just wanted, even though he's standing right in front of the ticket booth, he just wanted to make sure you didn't go all the way in and wait in line to find out that you had to go back get a ticket.
True.
And then the other lady, I don't know. It was just maybe she was just double checking so that again you don't go through a line. And then the actual lady who scanned it. So
So I like that they incorporate a lot of at the first part of the haunt, they had at least two TVs that were playing Nightmare Before Christmas on, right?
yeah, they had I think cut quite a few throughout the whole haunt, right?
And they're playing Christmas music and music
Nightmare
from
Before.
Nightmare Before Christmas throughout
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing. They
Yeah.
play music from like I think it's just such a good haunted house song, the Year Without a Santa Claus music. He's Mr. White Christmas. Those ones are fun. And they did have Jack Frost at the very end, who we got a picture with, but it's so weird that it's joyful but also scary. I don't know, it's a weird balance that they're able to get, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a good experience. It's a fun experience.
It is fun. And they had a lot of Krampus involved in it. They had at least 2 or 3 large Krampus figures, one animatronic and 2 static figures that I remember. And then they had a little maybe Krampus light walking around, and then the big one that cornered Matt.
Yeah,
There
the
were like two
live
big ones
Krampus.
though, weren't there?
2 what?
Two big Krampuses, like two
Two actors.
yeah.
I
I
only
feel like I did see more than one Krampus live
Well,
actor.
one kind of, at least when we were going through, I feel like he was kind of trying to get back to where he was originally,
Supposed to
like
be.
his room or whatever. Yeah. Because he kind of came through pretty quick. Where the other one that was like in the red suit, that I that's one that I think held up Matt or whatever. But
Yeah. Well, he was. I don't know if he did the same thing with you, the one that held up Matt, but he was trying to pretend like he was a statue. But then I could see his eyes move, so it didn't really scare me when he jumped at us.
that's something I feel like I haven't really seen a lot in haunted houses because that would get me if they just blend in with the other
Well,
parts.
that's
They never
yeah.
really do
Well,
that
he
much
had
that I've
so
seen.
many dolls or statues or whatever you want to call them, dummies, and like everyone, I'm like, okay, is this a real person? Is
I
this a real
always
person?
expect it.
I always wait,
I
or is
always
it gonna jump out at me? You never know.
I'm always on guard for things like that, but it
Yes,
never materializes in it actually being a live person, right?
right. And speaking of light person, I think the highlight of I think most people's night was the actor with Down syndrome.
Oh yeah.
That was cute. Said the same thing to everybody, or something like that
Yeah,
every
Yeah.
time.
I'm sorry. I don't know if it was a boy or girl, but
Yeah,
when I walked when I walked in that portion, yeah, they were probably doing the same thing to everybody, but they just were like rawr and
right.
waving their fingers, and it was just a wholesome, awesome moment.
Yeah, yeah. I think everybody loved that part.
Maybe one good thing about the location is I bet they have a lot of the same people sticking around because it's so out there. There's probably not a big pool of people to draw from.
Sure.
I'd imagine not many people will travel that far. Maybe they will, but I think a lot of people just from the community in the Tooele area probably work there. So maybe that's good that it keeps the same people rotating in and out, and they just get
Well,
better.
we know for sure the guy at the gate, the original gate was from Tooele.
Yeah,
His advice about the police or whatever doing the sobriety checks.
yeah, watching out for us
Yeah.
because he knew we were drunk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite room or favorite part?
Can I chime in?
Oh,
Oh, hey Matt, yeah, go right ahead.
My favorite room was like one of the first rooms, and it was the clear sheets that you had to walk through. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
It was like the
oh,
very
they had a
first
writing room
room.
too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so Becky was behind Nate, holding on to him, and I asked Becky, "Can I hold on to you?" Because it was really hard to see, and or she said, "Hold on to me" or something. Either way, we both agreed. Two consenting adults. So I reached out to I was like, all right, I'm gonna hold on to her. And without even thinking, I put my hands like around her rib cage. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is not right. And I like slowly moved my hands up to her shoulders,
Hey,
which I
as long as
apologized for later.
as long as you don't give her a foot rub, I think we're okay.
I don't know. But yeah, no, that was actually, we laughed pretty good about that in the car on the way back. So I know Becky doesn't listen. So I would apologize, but I know she's not going to listen. Well, Becky, you should have put your rib cage where my hands were going,
Well, what if she wants one
right?
of the exactly?
Don't be the victim.
I didn't punch him. He ran into my fist.
I really liked there was a prop. So there's mostly haunted, mostly hospital rooms, but then there's that one room that's more open, and it's kind of a swampy section. I don't know. How would you describe that? You know what I'm
Oh,
talking
that
The
about?
that little
lasers?
mist thing they do.
Oh,
That
no,
one.
not that. It's like
Um,
you walk through a house. It was where I think that big demon was. I think that started the room, but it was just a little more open than the other sections. And I remember seeing kind of a water.
oh yeah, the water feature.
Yeah,
Yeah, like a little pond or something they
right, right.
had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that was
area.
cool.
So that was like the everything else was kind of hospital themed other than that area, which I thought that area was pretty good and pretty well done. And in there they had, going with the Christmas theme, there was an elf with its head cut off, which I thought was pretty fun.
It was like a stuffed animal elf.
I think something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had a Frosty the Snowman that was hanging by a noose at one point. But Josh pointed out there was this one room. You go in and there's two elves in there. One of them was laying on a table and had a candy cane sticking out of her chest.
Yeah.
The other one, I guess, was the one who put the candy cane in there. And I think we got some smells in there.
Yeah.
Kind of smelled
No,
had
for
a
sure.
sweet smell in there.
Yeah, I remember thinking I should not be feeling pleasant in this room right now.
I feel joy and
But the
jolly.
smell was, yeah, it was
This
sweet.
room
It
is
was,
cozy.
hmm yeah, they had the candy cane sticking right out of the stomach, and the
Yeah.
actor was like moving and stuff, and like just delusional.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was one of my favorites. But the infant room, I'd say, takes the cake.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the nursery.
hmm
the nursery.
Uh, yeah, where there's just all the like mutilated babies.
Oh
You hear
yeah.
like the babies crying when you walk in.
Yeah, that was pretty unnerving.
And then I think that was the same room where the blood sacrifice or the yeah,
The blood
whatever it is, the
quest.
blood quest. I like to call it the sacrifice. But when you put it into the little spot for it, there was it was almost like
Someone was spread
they had
eagle.
deteriorated to bones or whatever, but there was a like someone, it looked like they were almost like giving birth, like it was
Yeah.
a prop. And when you put it in, a baby came from the lower region and popped right up to your face, right in front of you. And that was the one that was like
It
the
got you
best
good.
jump scare of all. Yeah, I was
And
like,
it
oh
sprayed
my,
you too,
because
didn't
it
it?
it can't. Um, I don't think it sprayed me. Maybe it. I think that was the noise of the like the air compression shooting it up or something. I don't think
Okay.
it sprayed. But the one that got me, that sprayed me, was I think the first blood sacrifice was where Matt was saying he got sprayed in the face. Well, this one was in my lower region, and it was like a water mist,
A water
and it was so
cannon.
high. Yeah, it was so high pressured. It felt like a little flick, and it act like my stomach was kind of in pain for the first little bit.
Hmm. I'm trying to think
Josh had a
back.
different experience than all of us. He got beat up.
Yeah, he did.
You got
Getting
checked into the
checked.
boards. You got
It
sucker punched in the stomach.
was immersive.
Very immersive. And
That's what you get for being the.
he did give us the free upgrade. I guess Josh got the free upgrade to the touching and
I was gonna
the
say, well, he's the biggest guy in the group, so
he got picked on.
yeah.
I'm trying to think back. Like there were some good scares, but nothing that was like a big, I don't know. Like I
Get your
got
heart
scared.
racing.
Yeah, nothing that got me like way bad. Was there any that did that for you? I guess Josh with
Nah,
the blood quest, but
oh, there's a couple of jump scares like with the air compressed stuff. That's usually what gets me the most because you just don't anticipate it all the times or know what's coming.
You feel it.
And I
I
think
mean,
one of the girls got me, or actors got me. Can't remember where it was, but I'm like, I even told them like, "Good job, you got me." Like that was good.
I think one of them that got me was some banging in one of the girl actors. She banged something and it got me pretty good, but
That might have been it. The one who like slammed the wall or something. I can't remember.
yeah.
And there was another right before Krampus. There was a dark room, and I just kept thinking, that'd be awesome if somebody came out, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
There
the
was
guy
a room
comes out
that
of the
was
wall, but
pitch
I had already
black.
passed, so I didn't get to see him. I even asked him, like, will you just go back so I can see, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see, like, try to see if I can see you, but
The
he
big
wouldn't go
skeleton
back.
guy.
Yeah, and then he like ended up like meeting us somewhere else in the haunt to try to stop our path,
Yeah,
but he didn't put a whole lot of pressure on stopping us.
that's good.
I always love the just pitch black
Ugh.
haunted house rooms where you just have to navigate with feeling the walls
Yeah.
and
Well, that one room was it like, yeah, I couldn't. I'm like, we're gonna be stuck in here. I don't know where to go.
Yeah, I hate those rooms. The not as much of you being it's not a jump scare, but it more puts you in that like I'm scared.
disoriented.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
disoriented and
You're like,
you're
all right,
nervous for
this is
what's gonna
enough.
happen.
Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Yep,
Start to
exactly.
panic.
But I think the thing that was the most surprising was the very end. We actually got to see Santa Claus. They had Krampus, but they also had the big man himself at the very
They
end.
wouldn't let me sit on his lap.
Yeah, yeah. You do have to pay for the touch experience to get that, to get your picture of Santa. And then the obligatory, does every haunted house have to do a chainsaw at the very end?
I think
Is
so.
that the
Well, the
rule?
person with the chainsaw, like I didn't think it was the end of the haunted house, but it was a girl holding the chainsaw, right? And she was more talking to us than worried about starting up the chainsaw.
Yeah.
That's
And
where I
then
got
after
shoulder checked.
was that where you got shoulder checked?
Yep.
Was she
It
the
was
one
right
that
before
shoulder
that.
checked you?
No, it was a boy.
Santa?
No, it was one of the elves. It was one of Santa's elves.
Oh,
I think because I was trying to sit on his lap. Maybe that's what it was.
probably.
The truth is
You have to
revealed.
pay for the Santa photo if you want to do that.
And then that's when we met Krampus, not Krampus, Jack Frost,
Jack Frost.
and he was kind enough to take a picture with us.
One thing they need to do here, and there wasn't really a good photo. Most haunted houses have a photo section,
Yeah, like right before you
photo
start.
opportunity at the beginning or the end. This one we kind of had to make our own, which is fine. You know, it's not absolutely necessary, but I think everybody likes to have the social media photo and for us for the podcast. But Jack Frost was nice enough to come in our picture with us, and he's someone I would have liked to see inside the haunted house. Wasn't there someone else we saw that we didn't see there? There's someone else walking through that looked like they belonged in the middle somewhere, but they weren't a part of it.
That was the Krampus, I think. That other Krampus.
Maybe.
Because like he didn't really interact much with us. He just kind of walked past us. He like looked at us and stuff and like, you know, tried to pretend that he was, but it didn't seem like that's where he was supposed to be. So he was moving through pretty quick.
I'll
Was
say
he wearing a
this.
white fuzzy like looked like a Yeti fur?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it
Okay, he
wasn't.
did the same thing to us. And it was in that swamp room. He just like walked up to us and then like didn't even stop us, just looked at us and then kept walking by.
Interesting.
Maybe that's his method.
I'll still maintain. I think I said this when we went to Dead City. There was a guy that we thought was trying to do something from Christmas Carol to be Marley or something. I remember it leading to an awkward exchange because we said, "Where's Marley?" or something. Does this ring a bell for you guys?
From the
Yeah, I
2 years
remember
ago.
this.
Yeah. And then he got confused and was like, "Oh yeah, I am Marley or something." I can't remember.
I think he was supposed to be Ebenezer. And then
So,
we're like,
yeah,
what happened to Marley? And he had no idea what we were talking
he
about.
didn't do his homework.
No, he didn't.
But I'll say it again for this one. They got to incorporate the Christmas Carol somehow. Got to have a Marley or a Scrooge,
That's
somebody that's
true. That's
prominently
true.
displayed because that's like the
Some
OG.
chains.
What did you say?
Some chains.
Yeah, some chains. You've got the Ghost of Christmas Future, who's a very menacing and scary thing. You got to incorporate that somehow because that's like the OG Christmas, from the
Haunt.
from the Christmas
A
song.
creepy little Timmy,
Yeah, yeah,
coming
yeah.
up to you.
I think
Is
so.
Tiny
that the
Tim,
thing? Is it Timmy?
Tiny Tim,
Tiny
Is
Tim.
that what it is? Tiny
A
Tim
Tiny
on
Tim
the
if things
crutches
didn't
or
work out for
whatever?
him very well.
Yeah. How frightening would that be if one of those came sprinting at you?
Yeah, an actor with like a crutch running towards you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If you guys are listening, just
I think that's a good idea. It might be hard to, because I know it's probably hard to redo rooms. They just try to add to it to make it Christmas, but you could even do Christmas Carol during Halloween, right?
yeah. I mean, you don't have to do even Christmas Carol, but if you had a Dickens Victorian era section, you can do a lot with that. So I don't know.
I
That's
agree.
my 2 cents. I think, and maybe it's for IP reasons. They can't for legal reasons. But the Grinch, man, no Grinch presents or something like the Grinch. I mean, he's scary.
Yeah, especially that new movie Grinch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But overall, I was happy with our experience. It was fun. Got us in the Christmas spirit, and think they did a good job. I'm excited to go back and check out some of their other holiday events.
We going for Valentine's Day?
The love bites.
Might be too soon to do another episode on Asylum, but I'm still
We don't
down to
have to do
go.
an episode on it.
Well, isn't that what dictates our everyday lives, whether it's episode worthy or not?
Yeah, you got a good point there. I'm sorry I spoke up.
That's okay. No, but I'm excited to check out another one. Love Bites, or they've got
Well,
St.
St.
Patrick's
Patrick's Day one,
Day,
that one would be cool.
Easter Bunny. Um, I mean, they have to probably close down for the summer still to actually do some work and change things. I mean, they can do it in between, but when you do an event, you kind of have to have things in working order to get it up and running. But
Yeah, it's hard to redo a room or something in the middle of a haunt.
I just love it because I'm just kind of addicted to this stuff now. Saving it all for just one part of the year is it's just not enough. You got to have more
Yeah,
of it.
I
right.
myself have become a connoisseur of haunted houses this year. They're totally worth it.
Yeah. I might make a trip next year just for haunted houses. That's how I'm into it. How into it I am now. We might need to make a trip to Colorado. They got some cool stuff out there that we
Ooh.
it's close enough. We've already toyed around the idea of going
Go to
out.
Bart's Cove.
What's that?
Was it Bart's Cove?
What's that?
Casa Bonita?
Oh,
That
yes, of
little haunted house
course.
thingy that it's like a
Casa
little haunted
Bonita for
house. They've got
sure,
like
man.
a scary section there.
Yeah. But if they keep doing this stuff, and I think, you said it, Matt, this can be a Christmas tradition, checking out Krampus at Asylum 49. It's not as far. How does the commercial go? It's not as far as you think it is out in Tooele. It's really not that far. Maybe like what, 40, 45 minutes? It's not terrible. It's worth it to make the
Wait, wait,
trip
wait,
out
wait,
there.
wait. What's the commercial for Stedman's? You may think it's 3 hours out here, but it's only
An hour
30 minutes
back
back,
or something,
something like that. 30
something
minutes
like
back.
that.
Yeah.
And that's the same with Dead City or not Dead City. That's the same with Asylum 49. It's really not that far. So they've already done it. Krampus is over, but keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you're checking out their other events because they do a good job and we love to support the local haunts. Anything else, folks?
I mean, I just loved how detailed that last Krampus costume was, the red one.
Yeah.
It's like that's my one regret is I rushed through that where he kind of separated you guys from us.
You see, you regret missing it. Matt
Yeah,
regrets it taking so long.
yeah. I would have happily switched places with him there.
You just sit there and like stare him up and down, make him feel uncomfortable. Is that what you're
Just have a
saying?
staring
What I try
contest
to
with
do
him.
with the actors sometimes. Like sometimes when they're just like sitting there like talking and talking, I just like start replying and asking them questions and
Yeah.
see how far it'll it'll
I did
go.
it a couple times. Somebody asked like if I'd seen somebody, and I said no, but have you seen Brandon? My friend Brandon? And they get a little
Like what?
confused.
Yeah.
And then they like just move on.
it's definitely an art and something I'm not the best with improv. I don't know if I could be an actor unless it was a quick in and out type thing. I remember even when we were at Nightmare, Josh and I went after Halloween, and there was this pirate, and he he like came in and scared us or whatever, and then they made us stop, or we chose to stop so that other people could go ahead and we're not missing out on it. And so he just kind of stood there next to us, just like,
I'm in an awkward spot.
Now what?
like he's like, I've already said
Yeah.
everything I can say. I've got no more tricks up my sleeve. And he just stood there awkwardly and just kind of like would look at us from time to time and just be like looking at the ground. Like it's hard to it continued the interactions once you've done the scare. It's like, okay, I have the one trick. It's to scare you and say that line, and that's it. So it goes a long way when the actors prepare and know what's going on and can actually have a conversation with you in character. So
That's what I was impressed about with in the line too, is there was just that one L factor that was like, at first it was kind of like weird because he comes right up to Ashley. He's like, what am I gonna do to you? And I was like, what are you saying, dude? Like, what are you saying? Like, why are you coming up and saying that? But then he's like, I think he kind of realized how it sounded, and then he's like, I'm gonna take your head off. And then he started like being creepy and stuff, but he just kept interacting with
I'm
us
gonna
and
rub
kept
your
coming
feet.
back. Oh, but anyway, it was fun. And then I just like started talking to him, and he was like, we were talking about his hair at one point. Like um, he was telling me how the kid in front, he's like, it's lame. This kid doesn't have any hair. He was like bullying this kid for not having any hair or something. And anyway, no, it was just fun that he was able to stay in character, and he like for a second there, like he was kind of starting to like leave character and talk about something else, but he somehow tied it back in. So just the improv of it was definitely top notch.
Yeah. I'd be interested to try being a scare actor for a season for a time just to see what it's like. But yeah, it's hard. I don't.
I'm convinced you've got to be really weird in order to do that.
To work there? Okay,
I
confession
mean,
time.
no, like, how do I say this? There's just like
You just have to be a little
a
eccentric.
certain type of
It's a
person.
personality, right? You have to have that
Yeah.
personality.
Like that theater kid type vibe,
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
know?
So a lot of
theater
those
kid for
kids,
sure.
a lot of the actors, I was telling my wife, my oldest, I'm like, a lot of them remind me of my oldest son. I'm like, he's got to work here. He's got that weird, you know, likes to yell random things when he gets excited or tries to, you know what I mean? A lot of the stuff they did, I'm like, Rocky would love working here. It's just too bad it's that far away. I'm like, if it's still at Dead City over here in Murray, I would definitely try to get him a job over there. But yeah, I'm not driving every night to Tooele to drop him off and bring
It
him back.
Well,
it's
Castle
like
Chaos
the
isn't too
that
far.
embarrassment factor.
The what?
Just being comfortable embarrassing yourself. Or
Yeah,
not
yeah,
even
Yeah,
yeah. Just
like
being
embarrassing
like you
yourself.
have you don't let yourself like feel embarrassed for saying
no
really cringy
inhibitions.
things. They're doing really weird.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Or like screaming at somebody or like getting all excited, like you know what I mean? They're just, and you can tell the kids are just having fun with it. Like
Yeah.
they're loving it. So I'm like, my son would definitely, this is up his alley, um, of something that he would like to do.
See, that's
So
why I want to try it because I mean I like theater as a kid, but I don't know if I could be that uh animated, I guess. I don't know if I have
yeah,
it
yeah,
in
yeah,
me.
yeah. Animated. Yeah, that's probably the best way to say it.
But I don't know. I've got to get used to it for when we do eventually, when Nate makes his millions and opens up the haunted house. I'll
Hmm.
probably have to be an actor some nights,
That's right. You're
have
gonna
to
have to fill
step in,
in when needed.
have to fill in, when other duties. I just have
When
to.
you're not operating the roller coaster, you can come
The
do some
nightmare roller
acting.
coaster. Oh, yes.
Right.
Man, I'm so excited for our haunted house. It sounds amazing.
Love it.
But yeah, that's Krampus. Matt, you've been awfully quiet the last little bit. Any final thoughts?
Nope.
All right.
Enjoy it while it lasts because I usually talk too much, but
That's okay. We like your talking, Matt. That's why we bring you along. Well, check it out. Make sure you follow Asylum 49 on your social medias, and you can keep up to date with their events. And yeah, thanks for giving us a good time out there, guys. And thanks to Tim for the upgrade so we could experience the blood and poison quests.
Yeah. Well, we got the
time.
poison, you guys got the blood. So we technically had two different experiences.
Yes. But we both were able to share them on here.
Fair enough.
And hope everybody had a good Christmas. This is after Christmas, but we got New Year's coming up. So happy New Year's to everybody.
This is the last episode of 2023.
It is. And we might have some stuff for 2024. I haven't looked that far ahead yet.
Got some goals to set.
Some goals. Every year we say we're going to change some things, and we're still doing the same thing.
Still have like a few places we've talked about from the very beginning of the podcast about visiting, but we've done better about hitting some of those places.
We're going to do more, and we have to have at least one field trip in 2024, another field trip. And I think we got to go up to Logan before Josh is not living there anymore.
That's true.
Spend the weekend in Logan? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know about a weekend. I was thinking a day trip, but we
I
could.
I thought you said field. We go on field trips all the time.
Well, field trips outside of the Salt Lake, Utah County.
All right. Fair enough.
Wendover, obviously we stayed the night because we had a free hotel, but we don't have a free hotel in Logan. I don't know. Maybe there's a casino up in Idaho we could stay at and get a free hotel. I don't know. But yes, more to come in 2024. Give us your suggestions, what other episodes you want to see us do, and we'll do them, maybe. Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was a place we just talked about.
And thanks to our guests.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Bye now.